There is a specific scene in the movie, no spoilers, but it's an epic fight with musical notes called Lethal Symphonies. Who came up with that idea? How did you develop it?
Well, it was Sam that told me about, I'm going off to shoot this scene. And I'm like, I can't even picture what you're talking about, Sam. I have no idea what you're describing. I have to wait to see it. And then finally, he comes back with the scene. It's like, oh, wow, okay.
Las cosas se salieron de control.
Hi, Mr. Danny Elfman. How are you?
Hello. Good, very good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good too. It's an honor to be talking to you. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
So, Danny, the score for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is amazing. Congrats.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun to work on. And I had no idea how people were going to react to this movie because this strange movie is so strange.
Yes. It's a scary, it's a science fiction movie and superhero movie. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah. And so there were so many elements coming together. It was totally fun to work on because, first off, I love Sam Reimi.
Yes.
And working with him but him bringing these kind of elements into a Marvel film, it was really like, oh my God, is this going to work? But he encouraged me to really stretch out and have fun with it and not try to be too safe and careful.
Yes, and talking about Sam Reimi is a new work with him about a superhero movie. And what did he specifically ask you for this score?
Sam will always just ask me for the same thing, which is just give me heart, give me heart, give me heart, bring me the heart. That's what Sam loves. When the film has heart, when the score and the music has heart, that's always his same thing. In Spider-Man, it was the same thing. Bring me the heart, bring me the heart.
Wow. It's a rare, specific question about, no? What is heart for you?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's a subjective thing, but Sam really puts me on a long leash, so to speak. He lets me stretch out and do things. Frequently, I would present music to him, and go, oh my God, they're never gonna buy this. There's this very retro music with Dead Strange out in the snow and the mountaintop that was right out of my childhood. There was some moments with Wanda where I had my electric guitar out playing.
Yes.
And it's like, I'll do this, but he'll never let me get away with it.
Yes.
And every time he was like, yep, we're good. I'm like, really? Okay.
It's working. Yes. So the recording, you work again with Steve Barkett from Ongo Bongo Band. And what did he contribute to this score? Did he play some electric guitar too, or you did?
At the very end, I did, but we added a couple notes and I was off in England and couldn't do it. So I got Steve on. He said, Steve, you have to pull out your guitar and give me some feedback.
Awesome.
And he did a great job. But, Steve, normally what he brings me is organization because, my work, as I finish it, it's all there, but it's messy. And I tend to be a little bit disorganized as I'm writing, and Steve has to pull it together and frame it and get it on the stands to the actual orchestra to play. So it's very tight and organized and not feeling chaotic like I often am. So he's really, really become excellent at doing that, at helping organizing what seems like madness on the page and making it presentable to the orchestra so they don't look at it and go, what is this? It's like trying to make it clean and clear and sensible.
He was the perfect partner for you.
Yeah, it's funny because in Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
years ago,
my first orchestral score.
Yes.
And I needed an orchestrator to work with and I didn't know where to go. So Steve, my guitarist, I go, Steve, have you ever orchestrated? And he goes, I took a course once in college. I go, that's good enough.
Yes. So Danny, what composers or movie composers would you like to meet in a Danny Elfman Multiverse of Madness?
Well, of course, the composer I would most most love to meet would be the ghost of Bernard Herrmann. And, you know, that he might not have things too nasty to say about me. And then I would really like to sit down and have a coffee with Nino Rota.
Wow. Yes.
And maybe that Ennio Morricone would join us at the table and say a few things and tell me to go to hell and then leave.
That's it. So Danny, you translate scenes, characters, feelings, and more into music. How does your brain work? How do you do that?
I try, you know, I think with any composer, we try to submerge ourselves in the characters, because in the heart of every film score is characters. And in this particular film, the first thing I had to do was solve two problems. I needed a new theme for Doctor Strange that could also be a love theme, a lost love for him and Christine that never happens. And even more difficult, I have an antagonist, a villain, who's heartbreaking and that I love, and that's Wanda. And so I said, this is so unique. Normally, a villain is Darth Vader, is Thanos. You know, they want to destroy the world, they want to own, and they want to conquer. And all Wanda wants is her children back. And I said, what an incredible concept for a supervillain, the motivation. So I needed to find something that could be menacing, but could also be very childlike and simple and heartbreaking, and have innocence to it that plays her desire to return to this family that she doesn't have. So these are the things that I was filled with when I began.
That's awesome. Danny, there is a specific scene in the movie, no spoilers, but it's an epic fight with musical notes called Lethal Symphonies. Who came up with that idea? How did you develop it?
Well, it was Sam that told me about, I'm going off to shoot this scene. And I'm like, I can't even picture what you're talking about, Sam. I have no idea what you're describing. I have to wait to see it. And then finally, he comes back with the scene. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. This really was literal, music notes flying both directions. I wasn't sure what he was talking about until I saw it. Yes. And then it was like, okay. And then I think it was Kevin Feige who really had the idea of, let's have it be Beethoven versus Bach. You know, so it became Beethoven's Fifth Symphony versus Bach's Toccata and Fugue, and as Kevin was wishing for, and it was just such fun to do. It was crazy.
Was great. Sorry, Danny, to finish, is my last question. Do you have plans to come to Mexico to play your music?
Always, whenever I'm asked to come, I love coming to Mexico City. It's really one of my favorite cities in the world. So whether it be to do my own music or Nightmare Before Christmas music or orchestral music or symphonic music or rock and roll music, I'll always come to Mexico anytime I can, anytime I'm asked. Please come. The best audience. Mexico City, I think, is just about the best audience on the planet.
So thank you for your time. I'm a huge fan of your work. Thank you. For this interview, and good luck with Big Mess. Is your album, your first album from, I think, 1992?
At least. Big Mess, meaning there it is, the big mess.
Yes, I know. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.